Have you been doing it with music? I forget. Um, whatever you feel. Okay, that works. There probably won't be a lot of chatting, but yeah, I'm sure it'll be fun. Okay.
Hello there guys, and welcome back to KTea Time, episode 3. So this is members and YouTube Patreons exclusive stream. It will be made available for every single one of you who are interested to watch it, but it's gonna be a week late. I think it's a fairly good compromise to provide an appreciation for people who provide more support for the channel. And at the same time, everybody can get involved with it. You just need to wait a bit longer. So again, if you are a YouTube member, if you are a Patreon member, you have basically a chance to get this content a week early. And it is basically a podcast conversation type where I speak with Mandalorian about latest happenings in game, so on and so forth. But it is very beneficial to catch it early because a lot of these things are time sensitive and you always want to be up to date. So without saying much more, let's say hello to Mandalorian and let's get to the nitty bitty gritty.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks, KT.
Right, so without much hesitation, we do have quite a lot to go through and possibly some extra points, but we're gonna see that when it happens.
Right.
First things, I think obviously we have to talk about the Cyber Weekend, because it definitely came as a surprise. I don't think anybody quite expected what we got, to say the least.
Yeah, I think that was the most disappointing thing. Disappointing is a nice way to put it.
I think Cam actually had a really good article about this, and I did really like his perspective on it. And after I thought about it more, I agreed with him, because currently quality difficulty as such is oversaturated. Well, first and foremost, Thronebreaker offers weren't really all that much to rave about. Even the cash bundles, they were good. They weren't as good as I thought they could have been, but the unit only offers were quite rubbish.
Right.
But the problem with Cavalier title at the moment is that it's just far too wide, far too broad, because you have people that have barely finished 6.1, basically with a couple of rank 4 5 stars, a bunch of rank 3 5 stars, and that's about it. Basically, not even a single rank 5 5 star, or maybe one or two. And then you have people who have 20 rank 5 5 stars, who have a bunch of rank 2 6 stars, and who are just looking for those last missing pieces of TFRCC, or maybe a decent 6 star of a set class or something that's just nearly Thronebreaker level. And that's a huge gap. And
That
I
is
think,
definitely.
yeah, so I think it's impossible to provide offers that would satisfy everybody, because the needs are so different, and these offers are quite clearly geared towards the newer Cavalier players. The unit offers are crap.
I almost feel like they should have had a way to have Cavalier offers for like those that have had it for 6 months or less than 6 months, and those that have had it for longer than 6 months, if that makes sense.
Well, that is
and
what basically Cam suggested.
Yeah, which I could see. I mean, I think that would have been a smart thing to do.
Yeah, okay. You just seem so tone deaf. Because what Cam suggested is to change the Cavalier structure in itself and basically split it in kind of like 3 different groups based on how many champions you have ranked, and that would differ your offers as well. Basically, accents on 5 stars or accents on 6 stars. And that is what they needed, because these offers are quite worthless to people who are trying to get Thronebreaker. In fact, I was surprised to see that they were worse than July 4th for Cavaliers.
That was what was really puzzling to me, because we've never seen. Now, granted, there was no Thronebreaker in July 4th, but to have it where you have worse offers, like it was a difference of, I think it was a 15% fragment crystal and the $100 Odin offer, and it was a 10% this time. So that was a 5% difference. If you buy all three, let's say for the whales out, that's a 15% difference just on that one deal.
Yeah, exactly.
That's huge. I mean, I can't see how they could justify that. Now, I understand that back then there was no Thronebreaker, but you can't make a deal. If Cavalier was this way in July 4th, it should never go backward. It should always either stay the same or go forward. And I was shocked.
If you remember, I actually mentioned that as a possibility, which I hoped that wouldn't happen. I actually mentioned that because it's not the highest progression level in the game, they could actually make them worse, which I really prayed they wouldn't, because that would face a lot of backlash. And that's exactly what happened. And there are so many people completely flabbergasted and outraged right now.
Yeah, I think they could have avoided that if they had by the minimum left everything the same as July 4th, and left Cyber Weekend. They could say, look, we weren't going to increase it, but we're not going to give anything worse than what you got before. And people probably wouldn't have been happy. But they would have been like, well, we got the same thing July 4th, so we can't be too upset.
And also, total lack of tier 5 CC in the unit offers was completely outrageous, I think, for Cavaliers. And you'd expect it have been like 25% selector or something, at least. Like, because the whole point of these for many people were to try and progress to the next level. And we have Timo B Germany in chat, so welcome, Timo.
That was another thing too. It's like Kabam shot themselves in the foot so many times. First, they made the offers worse than July 4th for Cavalier players. Then they didn't make it easy for them to progress upwards, where they could restart the game and buy the Thronebreaker offer. Which, granted, I know that hasn't been a official thing they do, but come on, it makes Kabam more money. Why are they going to limit that? And they shot themselves in the foot. I would be shocked to see their earnings report. If I got a glimpse of it, I guarantee you they made less money this year than last year, and guarantee they made less money Cyber Weekend than they did on July 4th sale. I know they did.
And yeah, well, that's kind of like the point here, is where I would really be interested to see how many people actually purchase these.
Right.
And I'm also because from the comment section alone, so many people said that they are happy that Kabam has saved them some money, and I do believe that to be the case, because these offers are definitely missable. If it wouldn't have been, let's say, for the great support from channel members and everybody else, I probably would have skipped a lot of those offers as well, because there are definitely things that are like, nice to have, but,
Right. Yeah, even Thronebreaker, while it did have some T5CC and allow you to select it more, that was crazy. I'm glad they at least had that. But I really feel like that the deals we saw as Thronebreaker should have been for Cavalier players, or at least a little bit should have translated downward.
Yeah, I think those 5% selectors and Black Panther's treasures were quite...
They were nice.
I don't know. The 5% is like, come on.
Well, they were better. Okay, if it had been Cavalier, I would have said that was a nice thing to do. Thronebreaker? No, I don't think so. I think it was kind of... They were limiting it quite a bit,
Yeah. And even from... What I think stings the most, and what I think will create the biggest dissatisfaction in players, and is the difference. We can see right now, I'm going to put on the Cavalier offers on the screen. We can see that all of these cash offers, even for Cavaliers, like, so long as you spend cash, you got something of what you wanted. You got some 6-star signature stones, you got some tier 5 CC bits, you got some 6-star nexuses, and like overall, not the greatest amounts or greatest stuff. But again, for newly... kind of like new Cavalier players, that definitely is good. But the bundles, the unit bundles for Thronebreaker and Cavalier were so abysmal. There was nothing to spend those 10,000 units for. And the people who worked 5, 6, 7, whatever, how many months they had to save up those 15-20k units, should be so pissed off. Like, you could see even in like Brian Grant's video, he was like so defeated. Like, this is the time people look forward to when they can get good stuff as a fruit of their hard labor.
I mean, look at even the gold. The gold was pitiful. I mean, 10,000 units after spending already another 5,000, you only get 1.5 million in gold. I mean, really?
Yeah, and 150 5-star signature stones definitely seemed out of place as well. It's like, come on, like, really?
Yeah, I mean, you should have given enough to take someone right up to 200.
No, there shouldn't have been any 5-star signature stones at all. Like,
Honestly,
you can earn them daily.
Well, that's the other thing, too. I don't know why they didn't allow a choice between 5-star and 6-star again. Because...
yeah, I think that would have been way to integrate. I actually wanted to mention this earlier. But yeah, that choice structure here would have helped to differentiate the levels of qualifier players and kind of like give an opportunity to satisfy bigger base, because they could have easily focused one set of bundles for the 5-star champions and other set of bundle for 6-star champions, and people could pick and choose, and then they could actually include some tier 5 CCs and stuff like that instead of some 10 tier 2 alphas or crap. And then I think I reckon a lot more people could have been satisfied with that.
Yeah, it was annoying to see that they took that away. That was I commended them for that on July 4th, having the option to say, look, I'm still focused on my 5-star roster, I want this deal. Or, no, I'm past that part, I'm trying to push towards when Act 7 comes out, or Book 2, whatever they want to call it. I want to get the 6-star offers. You know, at least you had that option. And to take it away, I understand that you wanted to have a Thronebreaker offer, but why did you have to, for lack of a better word, gimp the Cavalier offer? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Now, even on Thronebreaker level as well, like, they should also have had a choice, because, for instance, there are a group of people who are hunting for the right tier 5 CC, and for instance, they could have included some tier 5 CC selector in there. And there are people who are hunting for appropriate 6-stars, so they could have kind of like worked towards both sides of this kind of equation. Thronebreakers are also quite far in between their progression levels. Like, I'm currently at like 12 rank 3 6-stars, and I can take up another 2 or 3 right now. There are people who have 1 or 2, and our needs, again, are quite significantly different. And having options is always a beneficial thing as far as I'm concerned, and they just took all that away.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, that's a great example, because you're the higher side of Thronebreaker, and I'm the lower side. I have 2 rank 3s, you have 12. I haven't 100% Abyss. You have, you know, there's...
Yeah,
so
even in my own alliance, I have people who have like 18 or 19 rank 3 6-stars. They are, again, significant jump ahead of me.
Exactly, yeah. I understand the reasoning for this kind of stuff, but at the same time, it's like, give the players a choice and stop making choices for them. Stop taking the choices away and deciding for them what their...
And especially they're so incapable of making reasonable, good decisions. Because, again, like, everybody is raving about how much Cavaliers got robbed, and they did, without a doubt. But I'm not all that impressed with Thronebreaker offers either, especially the unit bundles. I think it would have been such a dismissal of hard work for people who saved up the units and are unable to purchase the cash deals. Because 90% of the decent stuff was in cash.
Yeah, it really felt like they punished people that didn't want to spend physical cash. If they had spent their time, they disrespected those people for saving up all those units. I mean, I had people in my own alliance, and even people I know, just say, you know what, I'm not going to buy these unit offers. I'm going to go explore Abyss now. Or
and that is my personal recommendation as well. Like, if you have done initial path, if you're Thronebreaker, do not buy the 4,000 and 10,000 unit bundle. That's effectively 4 and something Odins. That should maybe not cover the entire cost of Abyss, but it's going to cover a vast majority of it. And if you farm some potions, you should be able to actually get through every single path, provided the roster kind of allows you. And that's what I would do. That's what definitely I would suggest. Because at least in Abyss you have guaranteed values. You have the generic gem, you have full tier 5 CCs, you have that uber mega stacked giant of a Nexus crystal.
You know, this is what bothers me too, is for Cavalier players, they had to spend $100 in US dollars, but it could be more in other countries. But they had to buy the Odin to get a 6-star Nexus crystal, whereas the Thronebreaker, you got a 3-star Nexus just for spending $30 with the other stuff. That was a huge difference.
Oh, yeah.
And then whenever they gave us the class one, I was a little disappointed it was only 3. Like, I understand you couldn't give us the large one from the, large pool to pick from like the Abyss, but could you do more? Could you make it a little bit more special than just, okay, it's just class, but you still only have 3? Because I saw a lot of people, and I even had one that I opened, and it was crap. I mean, you got Mordo, Juggernaut, and Hood as the 3 Mystic, and they're all new champions for you, and you're like, well, these all are kind of crap, but I guess I'll take Hood. I mean, think if somebody only had $100 to spend, and they had busted their butt to get Thronebreaker, and they got, like a Deadpool X-Force and 2 Cyclops.
Kind of. It definitely didn't feel quite special this weekend at all.
Nah, it didn't. It felt like the bare minimum they could do to say that they had a better deal than the one before it, and that's only because they gimped the level before it. I felt no need that if I had the money, I wouldn't have spent it on everything.
For me, it was a bit of an impulse buy as well. Now, if I could redo it, I probably wouldn't have bought all of them. I would have bought some things. I definitely would have gotten like the 6 stones and stuff like that. But what's done is done. I'm not gonna wallow about it because, as I said, the only reason I was able to get them was definitely generosity of the channel supporters and every single one of people watching. So I'm super grateful for that. But overall, I don't think there are people who are super happy with what they pulled and what it did to their account, but there are also a lot of people who are not happy at all about this weekend, how transpired, and that's like a first. Typically, these offers are always celebrated, and next time July 4th is going to come around and everybody's going to try and hype it, and I think the hype is going to be significantly smaller now because everybody is going to keep in mind what Kabam did to players today.
It's kind of, I think this is the first time I've seen such a negative reaction since I've been playing this game. And I hit 4 years tomorrow. 4 years is my 4-year anniversary is the 30th tomorrow. And I can say this is the first year I remember that it's been such a downer this weekend. It is a bummer. And with everything we've had happen over the past 12 months, like end of last year all the way to now, Kabam had to do something good. And instead, all they did was just taken any goodwill they've built up over the last 6 months and pissed it all down the drain in one fell swoop. And I mean, I understand that they said nothing was going to change this weekend, but they should have made a statement. They should have done something because that was ridiculous. It's disgraceful. They're going to lose player base. In fact, I've seen people already quit the game over it. So
somebody rage quit over a video where I ranked up a champion, and somebody just rage quit thinking that's like in poor taste. I shouldn't have done that. Like, I'm not going to take it to full, but I can definitely see that there will be a bunch of people who just either significantly step back or just leave altogether. And that's a shame because Kabam had done well for the most part in last month.
Right.
But speaking of disappointing things, before we get to kind of like happier things, let's talk about the sigil improvements, which for the most part are a bit laughable, I think.
Are they really an improvement then? I mean, seriously, let's be honest.
Let's talk more specific. Well, the first one, tier 4 class catalyst crystal cost in the black ISO market reduced to 2 tier 4 basic catalysts down from 3. I actually never buy them because I struggle with tier 4 basic catalysts quite often as is. And again, if it would be selector, I would probably buy it. But if it's random, I don't. But the most outrageous things, I think, is the... the 6-star featured hero crystal. First of all, okay, that might not be quite as outrageous because saving 2,000 6-star shards is still a cool thing, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
But it's again one of those things that seems like a bare minimum approach. It's like, why not make it the same as the 5-star, right?
I got a reason I think why, but I'll get back to it.
Because like proportionally, it would have been the same saving as a 5-star thing, right? And here again, you can't abuse it. You can't buy more than one. Still resets every 14 days, whatever. Why make it 13? It's just because they can get away with it, kind of thing.
You know what I think the reason is? I don't know if you know this. uncollected players, if they have the sigil, they get a 5-star for 13,000 versus 11,000. So this tells me
it's going to be 11 for next progression.
There's going to be another progression that's going to give you 11k, and it's going to come sooner than you think. And I think that's why we're seeing Cavalier push down so much to uncollected, because there's going to be a Thronebreaker plus whatever the new title's going to be in the next 6 to 9 months. I really think they're going to push another title on us.
I could definitely see that happening.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it. That's why it's 13,000, because that's the 13,000 for the lower level, where it reverses Cavalier and Uncollected. Cavalier gets 11,000 as his Thronebreaker for 5-star, but featured. But Cavalier pays less than Uncollected. Uncollected gets it for 13,000, which doesn't make it as good of a deal.
Yeah, which also works out in the next point with the 750 6-star shards.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
And what's up, Sergeant Born, Perez, and Timo B? Welcome, guys.
Everybody.
But yeah. So the next point is definitely quite laughable, I think, because it actually really kind of like pisses me off. It's 750 6-star hero crystal shards available in the black market store for 10,000 5-star hero crystal shards twice every 7 days.
This is just nothing. You know what? You get a little bit more 6-star shards, but you lose out on the ISO. You lose out on some gold. You lose out on 20 levels of duping. You know, this is disgusting.
I mean, you can hardly call it an offer. Like, you can.
It's not an offer.
It's not. I wouldn't want to look at it as like a special privilege to be available to do something like that. It's something that I would reluctantly, occasionally, perhaps do, but it's nothing that, like, in general, I will just skip it. For the most part. I get where they got their conversion rate though, because they're changing basically, even when you look at the 5-star shards, they're basically changing a 4-star crystal for 750 5-star shards for uncollected, by the way, and 1,000 5-star shards for Cavalier and above. So they're kind of like doing the same thing, where they're changing a full 5-star hero crystal for the same amount of 6-star shards. But still, stupid. It just seems such a horrible deal.
It's a horrible deal, and I understand the rationale behind it, but that doesn't, just because the numbers you could explain it away doesn't make it a good thing. And it doesn't make it...
It doesn't make the 5-star shard thing deal a good thing either. I think that's a quite meh deal.
No, the 5-star, no.
But I think it's even worse here, because you effectively get less stuff for duping a 5-star than you do for duping a 6-star right now, because there's no 7-stars, right? You do not get any max sig ability crystals, you do not get anything there, and
still makes no sense why you don't get something for max sig. Like, you should at least get more 6-star shards. You know, that's what's
it's the same amount of ISO for duping a 6-star than it is duping to 5-star, and it's just very, very odd, and definitely doesn't seem worth it at all. And I was looking forward to sigil improvements, but after seeing them, I'm really not all that fussed.
Doesn't look like any improvements to me. What it looks like is more crappy options that I will never. Now, granted, I'm curious to see how much a step up the solo event that's every 7 days versus Cavalier, but I doubt, based on everything I doubt it's going to be a thing.
There's also another thing that's coming for every progression, by the way, where you can trade in tier 4 class catalyst fragment crystals, I think, to form like full ones up to 5 times every 7 days. But the thing is, I'm kind of better off opening the fragment crystals, because then statistically you kind of get more even amount in between all classes. Because with the RNG, these crystals typically give you, like, when you need 2 mutant catalysts, you often end up popping open like 20 or 30 tier 4 class catalysts, because you just can't seem to get what you need. With these, I actually like to open them because they steadily increase the overall amount of tier 4 class that I have.
This one I didn't really understand, because it's worded really weird. I'm guessing they're saying you could trade in 5 of those.
No, it's gonna be
T4CC.
I think it's gonna be like 20 or 25. It's gonna be basically the same thing that they're doing with the quest crystals, where you can trade in the small ones, so you don't have to bother opening them.
Oh, so they're bigger ones. That's all they are.
Yeah, so you can trade in tier 4 class catalyst fragment crystals, which are like 2%, right? So if it's 2%, you're going to be trading in 50 of those to form a fully formed one, and you don't have to bother opening 100 crystals. You can open one fully formed tier 4 class catalyst.
But you're right. It's the fact that, but you still only get one random class. If it was a selector, maybe?
Oh, if it was a selector, I'd do it all the time.
Yeah, if it was a selector, I would totally do it, but we know it's not going to be a selector.
Yeah, it's just a crystal.
To have that 1 in 6 RNG, but if you open 5 of those every single time, I don't know.
Yeah, so I think Sigil needed something, but unfortunately I think it needed something more, and it needed something more above all progression levels, because it's getting significantly less and less relevant as the time goes by.
I hate to say it, the only reason why I've kept my sigil so long has been because of the expanded inventory, but even that, I'm like, you know what, I'll just make sure that I rank up quicker and I won't have as much of an inventory I have to keep, because I'm not really keeping it for the T4CC.
I'm kind of on and off with the sigil, basically. I let it expire, then renew it at some point, then let it expire.
Yeah, it's not worth it, man.
I mean,
it's been about a year.
Purely theoretically, it kind of is, because you do get those units from the solo event and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. But,
like,
I mean, because it came out about a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Did it come out like in October this year?
Yeah,
I want to say it's been about a year.
But the point is, like, purely, like, when you look at what you get for $10 a month, it technically is worth it, because units alone kind of make it worth it. Yeah. And everything else is just kind of extra, but it also doesn't feel gratifying, nowhere near enough as it used to when it first came out. And with every passing month, it just feels less and less kind of like... I don't feel like I'm wasting my money when I get it, because improved energy, whatever, improved inventory, some dribs and drops here. But that's how I look at it, as a scrappy dribs and drops kind of thing. I don't look at it as a monthly subscription that actually provides me with a significant benefit.
Yeah, it feels underwhelming. It feels like it should be $5, honestly, but that's in my opinion.
Yeah, at this point, it definitely feels like it should go down in price of anything, because it's just nothing special anymore.
I remember they did a survey like 6 to 9 months ago about the sigil,
and they did nothing about it.
Things that they needed to either drop the price or add a lot more to it, and nothing they've done has made me think it's still worth $10.
Yeah, pretty much. Right, now we have some better things to talk about, and that is the month of December, because that is going to be jam-packed, and I like it. At the same time, I don't like it, because they have this much happening. They coulda, shoulda, and I would have much more enjoyed if they actually did more stuff in the last 3 months, because last 3 months have been relatively dry. There hasn't been anything special. There's been monthly event quest, monthly side event quest, new champions, some champion buffs. That's it, pretty much. Aside from that, there hasn't been anything overly interesting happening in game, and now seemingly that Kabam is gonna blow their entire load up in December, because you have variant, you have Act 7, you have gifting event, you have free gifts, you have special arenas, you have a ton of different things happening, and from initial glance it actually feels quite overwhelming, to be honest. And then there's a worry that we're going to be oversaturated with content right now, and it's going to go dead again.
This is the problem that I always see what happens. It goes back to this. It's either feast or famine. A lot at one time, or there's nothing. And that's why I wish that they would get their crap together and actually just spread it out.
Just like more reasonable.
But not overwhelmed. There's a lot going on next month, and while I'm all for, give me more stuff, fun, it's like, dude, why can't we have some of this in October, some in November?
Exactly. It's going to be very, very fun in December, but there are going to be people for whom it's too much, and it's always a good idea to slow down in case you do feel burnout. But like, for instance, I know myself, and I typically like to do everything as soon as it's available, so I'm going to be working like double time to get everything done, and go do nothing. And that's not the healthiest way to play the game, I admit it. But I think if you're relatively kind of like hardworking player, you really didn't have too much to do last couple of months. And I'm afraid that I'm gonna be dry for the next couple of months. But okay, so what is the thing that you look most forward to personally?
You know what? I'm actually looking forward to having the arena because I don't play a lot of arena so much anymore unless I'm grinding for a champion and stuff. Looking forward to the 1 and 2 star arena. Using them because I can use some of my I have all my 2 stars ranked up and my 1 stars ranked up like to the max. So I kind of like being able to use those and just get a lot of points. I also like the fact that we're going to be able to earn more gold during the week of the 10th through the 17th, I think. Those are the 2 things I'm looking most forward to myself.
1 second, my monitor is messing up, so I have to do something. That's going to be a small interruption.
Okay, no worries.
But yeah, since you're speaking about December, I should also probably change the screen to appropriate one. And
you can hear me okay still?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Cool. Yeah, but yeah, those were kind of like the 2 things I was looking forward to: getting more gold during that week because I've been saving my gold crystals since the last time they did that, and then also just that little arena that you can usually knock out in like a day or 2 if you really just focus on it and be done with it.
Yeah, I'm not really honestly fussed about the arena. Obviously the biggest thing is the 7.1, which I hope is good.
And see, that's the thing is there's so much. See, when you said December, I'm thinking of just stuff for December itself. I wasn't even thinking of the stuff that's going to stick around past December.
But yeah, we have 7.1, so I really do want to see, because I wasn't playing the beta or anything of the sort, so I really want to see what's going to happen there. I'm super excited for that. In addition to 7.1, we have back issue 6, which I love variants. Variants are by far, I think, everybody's favorite piece of content, because they make them relatively tricky, but at the same time, very fun. Interestingly themed, you get some sort of benefits, you have like basically a subset of champions to use, and most importantly, it feels very, very much so worth it.
Variants are definitely one of the things I'm glad they brought back, because we went from having Variant 4 released last year, which was awesome, to like nothing until 3 or 4 months ago when they finally released Variant 5, and then they said we're finally going to start bringing them back, and I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Oh,
because I love Variant. Like that's the one I always want to do like right away.
And especially because Variants today now have included the Tier 5 class Catalyst fragment stuff and rank 4 to rank 5 gems and stuff like that. So there's a very decent amount of rewards for the effort that you have to put in. Because realistically, if you want to, and if you really want to put your day to it, you can pretty much knock out the entire Variant in like a day, in like, I don't know, 5 hours. 6 hours, because they're not that long. They have reduced the length of it as well.
And I know they haven't announced the rewards, but I think the best thing they did with Variant 5 versus the variants that came before it was instead of making it a random class gem for the older champions,
it
was a generic.
So good. And I expect it to be the same rewards, to be honest. Same or pretty much exactly the same. They're definitely not going to be worse. I don't think we're going to be lucky enough to have better, and I don't think it needs to be upgraded. I think that if there's one place in game where rewards are good for the effort, then that's the Variant.
It's Variant. But what I will say is, with all these new champions getting buffs and such, it's making these generic gems so powerful because you can rank up those champions without using your new resources. You can use these specific gems to rank up your champions from I think we're up to 2017 now, so I don't think that will change. I think it'll still be 2017 and before. I don't think we're going to go to 2018 until we get to back issue / variant 7.
There's another really cool thing about those rank up gems, and that's the fact that, for instance, like where I'm playing, I can't really rank up 5 stars because it takes far too much tier 2 alpha, and tier 2 alpha comes proportionally significantly slower than tier 5 basics come. Like at the moment I have like 16 tier 2 alphas or something like that, and I have 16 tier 5 basics. So do the math, right? No matter which champions are ranked, I'll never And when it comes to 6 stars, that shift at least is a bit more heavy on tier 5 basics. Like instead of 2, you use 3 for rank 2. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
You basically use more tier 5 basics per tier 12 on 6 stars. So that's what I'm kind of like forced to focus on, even though there are a bunch of 5 stars that I would like to rank up for funsies. And I would have the tier 5 basics that are spare that I wouldn't miss because they do come in quite quick. But I can't do that because I would fall even further behind on tier 12, and that really annoys me. And these rank 3 to 4 gems really help with that because it saves 4 tier 12. Like now, Daredevil Netflix,
and that's
probably how he's gonna get ranked.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, like between some of these newer champs like Falcon, Daredevil, Gambit, all these, I think that's how you're gonna get them ranked up.
At least to rank 4, and then if you really like them.
At least to rank 4, yeah. Because, and that's why most of my older champs, like Hawkeye, I got up to rank 4 back in the day because of that gem, which he's okay, you know. But I mean, nothing I would rank 4 using Catalyst because it's such a I mean, why would I? That's such a precious resource. Yeah, but a gem, heck yeah, I would use that on him, you know. And I think we're just gonna see the benefit of that more and more with these variants coming out, is you can still have fun with some 5 stars without having to break your tradition of ranking up your 6 stars, getting the resources first.
Yeah, so I do like that quite a bit as well.
Very nice.
And then there's Act 7, and everybody's big question right now, what kind of rewards you're going to see for Act 7? Because historically, if you take a look at every single act, first chapter rewards are not all that. So I'm going to pop in Act 6, Chapter 1 and check out the rewards there.
That was, I remember when that came out, everyone was very underwhelmed compared to the 4th chapter of Act 5. People were like, this is all we get? And granted, it ramped up after that, but I hope they learned from that mistake. And
so I'm going to put this up right now on the screen, right? We have the completion and exploration rewards. So for completion, you get 2,000 6-star shards, 5,000 5-star shards, rank 2 to 3 5-star gem, 1 tier 4 basic, 1 tier 4 class catalyst crystal, and 9,000 tier 5 basic fragments. And exploration rewards aren't like all that hot either. 25% tier 5 class catalyst fragment crystals. I hope this is gonna be increased to like 50% or maybe a full one. Full one might be too much to ask, but I hope this is definitely increased quite significantly.
50. I think it should be 50 minimum.
Yeah. You have 5-star rank 3 to 4 rank up gem crystal. You have tier 5 basic catalyst, 4,000 6-star shards. Basically nothing really there. So I think expecting a lot from 7.1 is setting yourself up for quite a big disappointment, to be honest.
Could you pull up 6.4 completion and exploration rewards? I just because I want to play devil's advocate of if they were to actually do something, could they make it as good as that?
Well, okay, so 6.4. We do have some slight increase, so there's a huge increase in tier 5 basics, which is kind of like the hot resource there. You get 3 and 1. You have 8,000 6-star shards, 15,000 5-star shards, more of the rank up gems, 3 tier 2 alphas, 4 Cavalier crystals, and then obviously the bigger stuff, as in like 25% again, a lot more, but still nothing too crazy, to be honest. The big stuff came for...
Can we go through the completion first, one at a time, each reward, and I could say what I would like to, like still looking at for 6.4, just 6.4, and compare it to what I would want 7.1 to be. Are you okay with doing that?
Fair enough.
So if you go to 6.41, and let's start at the first thing. So they should still give us at least one, I would say maybe 1.5 tier 5 basic. I think they should give us 10,000 6-star shards. I think you could probably keep the 5-star the same.
I don't think there should be any 5-star shards at all.
I don't think they should, but the reality is they're not going to give us... I don't think they're not going to give it to us because they're just still pushing. You could trade them in, so 15,000. What's after that? The 15,000. The gem is for, they give you 2. Is it the rank 3 to 4?
Rank 2 to 3.
Okay, I think it should be 3 to 4.
And then we have 2 3 to 4s.
Okay, and then
Again,
I think it should be 4 to 5s.
I don't think there should be any 5-star stuff at all. Personally, I think there should be like
I
2,
know,
3, maybe 4.
But I'm
Tier
looking
5
at
basics,
it as
6-star
at
shards.
it as Kabam is not going to just eliminate 5 stars. They're not. They're going to give you 5-star stuff. So you may as well just say, what is our wish list if they're going to give us everything just a little.
I don't think they really should, though. I really don't think that Act 7 at this point should anything have to do with 5 stars, because they are phasing them out. It's kind of like in Act 6, right? They banned 4 stars. Flat out. And then they would give us 4-star things, because Act 7 might be not exclusively banning 5 stars, which they're not. But they are basically softly encouraging and enforcing 6-star usage, because 6 stars will get attack increase and stuff like that, so it's clearly geared towards 6 stars. And if that's already in the notes there, I think it's just inappropriate to do 5-star crap.
Okay, so let's play your game. Okay, let's play your game. There's nothing in there for 5 stars. Okay, let's start with the tier 5 basic. Do you agree with completion, not exploration yet? Completion. Do you think 1.5 would be enough to give someone?
I think 2. 2 is fair.
So you think 2? Okay. And then, how many 6-star shards? Should we get 15,000 or should it be 13,000?
I think give us 15,000, no 5-star shards.
No 5-star. And then a rank 1 to rank 2 6-star gem? The class gem?
Yeah, class gem crystal for that. And a couple of Cavalry crystals.
1 or 2 of those?
Just 1.
Just 1.
Swap
and
all
then
4 of those for 1 of that.
And then
and still keep in some tier 2 alphas, because we still use them.
So what do you think, 4 or 6?
I think 5 is a decent number there.
Okay, so let's say 5, and then they'll give us some Cavalier Crystal and at least 2 million in gold.
Yeah.
They have to give us at least 2 million in gold. Let's say they give us 6 Cavalier, 2 million in gold, 5 tier 2 alpha, 1 to 2 6-star gem, 15,000 6-star shards, and 2 tier 5 basic. If that was the completion rewards, I'd say that's a win. I think it's a good, fair amount to give everybody based on where the game's going.
And then exploration 1. I'd want to see at least 50% crystal.
It should be 50. Yeah, 50.
Then I think they could do 2 rank 2 to 3 crystals.
Yeah. I think
they
how
should.
Many of those? 2?
2. Like we have 1 for completion, 2 for exploration.
Okay. There
rank
we go.
1 to 2 though. Right, so there's no tier 5 CC involved. Then about 5 tier 5 basics. Because tier 5 basics are relatively common for most kind of like heavy gamers. And
5.
Yeah, 5.
What, 30?
25, 30k 6-star shards I'd probably be fine with. Maybe 1 Nexus and 20k 6-star shards or something like that.
Okay, and then how many T2 alpha? What, 12?
10, 12, something like that.
Okay,
and then pretty much kind of like whatever, but that would be kind of like the core items.
How much gold did they give for the exploration? I forgot.
Exploration 2.5.
They should give you 4 million.
Yeah, probably. They should put it up to about 6 million total, 6.5 from the 4 million that's in 6.4. But we're gonna see how far we're off, because I have a feeling that's unrealistically positive.
I think we're kind of dreaming. Now we're not. I just want to make it clear to everybody, we're not saying we're gonna ban 5 stars in the content itself.
Yeah, I think they have learned a very harsh lesson from the 4-star ban to begin with, and instead of banning, they're kind of like softly enforcing it, and they're giving advantage to you if you're using 6-star champions. You can still use 5 stars, you can still bring it for synergy, stuff like that. It's just that with increased health pools and the 5 stars having hit their max kind of like health and damage cap, it's going to be significantly harder to use them, because basically it's going to be a situation where 1 mistake, 5 stars dead, and you're going to have to fight significantly longer because your attack is limited. But with 6 stars, because they're giving them artificial attack boost, and they're tankier as is, it's going to be much easier, because you're going to be able to finish the fights quicker, and you won't potentially be destroyed by a single mistake.
Yeah, so to be clear, guys, we're talking about rewards. We're talking about eliminating everything to do with 5 stars in the rewards, including shards and rank up gems.
Yeah, because I don't think they should do any 5-star stuff in here. They probably will, but I
know they will.
Don't think they should.
They're going to. Unfortunately, I agree with you. If we're looking at it from that aspect, yes, I agree with you. If they were to give us everything that we talked about, but I doubt they're going to do that. But I can tell you, they're gonna allow 5 stars to be in that content,
Oh
guys.
yeah, 100%.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, 100%.
And 7 stars, we're not gonna see at least until Act 2, I would say, of Book 2, Act 7, whatever you want to call it. I don't think we'll see 7 stars until then, at least, and that's at the minimum.
Yeah.
But I think.
Okay, so I think we are ready to move on to the final big subject of the conversation, and that is going to be gifting. So I'm gonna turn on my display capture back here. So gifting is coming back. There are several changes to it, like there's going to be quote-unquote like a cooldown period where you have to be in your alliance for 14 days before you can contribute points, and all the rewards will be delayed by 1 week, where they're going to examine tightly if you have been using any naughty means and stuff like that. But all that put aside, because I don't want to focus on that too much, to be honest, because I really am not a fan of gifting events, because I think it brings out the worst in people. But let's assume they make it perfectly fair. Let's assume they make it perfectly fair.
Start date? Can you scroll up just a little bit to show the start date? I can see the end date on your screen, but not the start date.
Start date is 21st.
21. Okay, the 21st. So, because a lot of people were asking, they were saying, well, what if I want to change alliances at the end of war season?
You can still do that.
You can still do it. Now, here's the thing, though. War season is going to end on the 9th.
No.
That...
Is it 9th?
Huh? Yeah, it's the 9th. It's going to end on the 9th. We have 1 more week. So it's going to end on the 9th. So what that means is, for the first 2 days, if you were to switch as soon as war season rewards come out, for the first 2 days of the gifting, you will not be able to contribute points to your new alliance.
Yeah, but it's still fine because you still have more than enough time.
Yeah, you still have another 12 more days to deal with it. But I'm just telling everybody, because there were some questions being asked about that. Wait, I want to switch alliances after the season's over, or what if I want to? What if we need to switch people? It just means that if they move on the exact day the rewards go out for the season ending on the 9th, you just will not be able to participate the first 2 days of the gifting, which is fine. Just save those first 2 days and go to the next.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's about all there is to it. But yeah, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, because
no, that's fine.
I have different gripes to pick. The first thing that they have changed, that I'm also not the biggest fan of, but I get where they're coming from with that, and that is the Alliance rank rewards. Because Alliance rank rewards are actually nerfed down from the previous year, which is quite
Which is so stupid. Stupid.
And I understand why they did it, because they don't want people who didn't maybe contribute as much to be getting a lot. So that way, it's kind of like that principle of making sure that poor people doesn't get good rewards. In a sense that if you're in an alliance with a bunch of whales who kind of like carry your alliance score up,
right?
They don't want people like that getting any good rewards. And here you can see that they have actually reduced, they halved the tier 5 class catalyst selector, and they halved a lot of rewards in there and reduced the shard amounts and everything else. So overall, when it comes to alliance ranking, nobody really cares about it, right? Because there's nothing too special. I mean, those things are nice, you'd love to get them, but it's nothing that would kind of like encourage you to drop bang, right? So as an alliance score, it's irrelevant where it plays, to be honest. There's going to be like no competition, alliance for alliance. They have moved that, however, all of it and much more to solo rank rewards. They want to focus on a single whale competing against single whale, not whale alliances.
Oh yeah.
But whale for whale, as in like each map for itself. And here we can see that the rewards for first 30 or 60 people are just insane, to a borderline point where I'm asking existential questions to myself. Why do I play this game? Because we can see that immediately here we have Nexus 6-star crystals times 2 tier 5 class catalyst selector. So any tier 5 CC that you want, we have what is Nexus 2, we have 6-star ton, 6-star generic awakening gem, 6-star rank up gem crystal from rank 2 to 3. So let's just count how much tier 5 CC they're giving out there, right? So that's a 6-star awakening gem. Okay, that's an awakening gem, but that's generic.
Yeah.
And there's 6-star reactor
Generic.
gem crystal from 2 to 3, so that's a full tier 5 CC there, plus a bunch of other catalysts. Tier 5
Plus
CC
another
class
T5.
catalyst selector. That's 2.
It's 2.
And then you have Nexus 6-star hero crystal times 2, which is okay. Tier 5 basic catalyst times 9. 6-star hero crystal shards, a bunch. Nexus 5-star hero, whatever. Tier 2 alpha catalyst times 5. 5-star hero, a bunch. So they give out 2 full Tier 5 class catalysts.
Tier 5
of
class,
whom one is your choice.
One's RNG, and one is you can pick. So
yeah, just
wow,
that's a crap ton of account progression, including that 6-star awakening gem and everything else. I am
just
not
thinking
a fan
of
of
the
that.
whales. If they have 30 whales in one alliance, if they can get all the top spot, their prestige is gonna shoot up like crazy.
And like, why I'm not a fan of it? Because game modes like Alliance War, for instance, where if your team finishes in the first place, you get like half a tier 5 CC, random.
I know.
Random.
The rewards are
for being
horrible.
the best in the world. So here for being the best spender, right? You get 4 times as much with infinitely more control and everything else.
It just shows. It shows that winners in this game are the people that pay Kabam. It's what
and
it
that
shows.
is a very, very large reason why, in general, I don't like gifting event, because I don't think a gifting event is even appropriate name for it. I think it's more so a trade-in and spending event.
It's a pay-to-win event. That's all it is. Come on, let's be honest. That's what it is.
And
it's a pay-to-win event.
I know that a lot of people love it, and I would love it so much more if it wouldn't be such an extreme segregation between players. Because yeah.
You got people paying like buying a brand new car, basically.
Oh, we have Real Sensei in here as well. Welcome.
Hey, Sensei. Yeah, seriously. I mean, there's people that could buy a car with the cash they spend. One person spend. So Kabam rolls in the cash when this happens. That's why I knew it'd be coming back.
And also, the biggest thing I kind of dislike, okay? I could be perfectly fine with the top spenders getting all the beautiful stuff. But realistically, vast majority of, let's say, moderate spenders, moderate endgamers, finish in that 1 to 5% bracket. And they get 3 tier 5 CC 2% crystals, which is a laughable amount, which is less than half from what you get from a week in AQ. At least then it should have been like half a tier 5 CC there, or something, like, that's also somewhat worthwhile. But anything that's out of these ranked spots is pittance. Absolute pittance.
If I remember last year, I think if you hit all the solo milestone, you were in the top 5%.
Yeah, so vast majority of the kind of like higher, bigger accounts, more kind of like active players, typically fit in the 5%. Some of them drop down to 10, but that's very easy to hit. That doesn't even require any like significant amount of spending or anything like that. But you get so little for it.
It's I am not a fan of the gifting event at all.
Yeah, I know. Gifting event is definitely with a very, very big wallet. So, I was secretly like, this is gonna, I don't know, maybe shock some people. I was actually hoping it's not gonna come back. I think the community as a whole would be better served without it existing. But it earns too much money for Kabam, I think. So they're gonna tie on this hill.
With them eliminating the cheating, so to speak, the getting the fake units that were not purchased through Kabam,
or people just joining and dumping and inflating alliance scores and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Kabam will make more money than last year for sure, because they've already cracked down now on how they were not making that money. Now, will they make as much money as they think? I don't think so. I don't think that the people that bought the cheaper units is going to spend the equivalent of that amount in
I also think that in this case a lot of people will be discouraged for high spending, because previously when you were in some relatively high alliance, let's say that was trying to get to the top 5, top 10 positions, because those still got relatively decent rewards if you were 4th, 6th or 7th, 10 or something like that. Right. Because most of those alliances got carried by like 3, 4, 5, 6 whales, and then everybody tried to chip in as much as you could, like kind of like to be a part of it, right?
Exactly.
And right now, you're just not gonna want to do that. because the rewards for being in top 10 again are not worth it. For instance, the 7th place as an alliance. Let's say you know for a fact you will not be one of the topping single contributors, like single solo rewards. You're not gonna get much for it, but you want to help your alliance to get to, let's say, top 10 position, right? 5-star Kang, tier 5 class, catalyst fragment, 10%. Again, that's nothing. That's less than a week in AQ. Everything that they offer there for 10th, globally 10th highest spending alliance, is significantly less than you can earn in a week, like AQ or whatever. It's nothing to strive for.
Yeah, and the fact that this is for what, 14 days, so you're doing 2 weeks worth of work to get less than what you normally get in a week worth of alliance quests is kind of sad.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm not too keen on this gifting event again, because I do think it kind of brings out the worst in people. It makes a lot of people jealous as well when you see everybody kind of like just throwing it away, much more so than normally it does. And overall, I do get why many people like it, because you can end up getting some cool stuff. But I think Kabam how taken something that could be really, really good, turned it up to 15 and ruined it and made it kind of like quite extreme. And that's my personal opinion.
I agree with that. I concur.
So yeah, I know for a fact I will not, like, because man, it's lockdown, it's corona, it's stuff like that. I'm not doing well myself.
I'm not doing this.
I know for a fact I have absolutely zero of a ghost of a chance to finish up anywhere there. I'll probably end up somewhere here, but nothing there. Again, even put together with solo rewards, let's say ASR finishes what, 25th or 20th overall, which I think is reasonable. That would again be the 1 to 5%, because it's only top 10 alliances get ranked. So anything I can get from gifting event, I don't care about. Like, there's nothing to get excited for. And I know some people will get some amazing stuff, and good for them. But
yeah,
it's just for me personally, I'm not all that much into it. All that high people are like, oh, gifting events coming back. It's like, what are you so happy about?
I really, unless they're really looking forward to getting those. I
mean, there's some decent stuff in some solo milestones, but solo milestones don't seem to be significantly improved either.
Are not bad.
There's like 2,000 6-star hero crystal shards, 3, 4, 5, 6 greater gifting crystals, which is probably the best thing there.
If I remember correctly, I think it balances out, like with you get some units, at least last year it did, with the units you get from the solo events, usually balanced out for like the amount you spent, so like early on. So like I don't think they do that this year, unfortunately, but it used to be like you know, maybe it's for the alliance one I'm thinking. It's like if you spent 300 units between the solo and the alliance milestones, as long as everybody did that, you'd get those units back.
Another thing that nobody's talking about at all whatsoever, and that's because the December month is extremely overly saturated, is they have significantly reduced the rewards for the side event. It's not even funny. The side event is so bad.
Except those epoch shards or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Don't care about them.
For the first time ever, we can purchase Cavalier crystals.
That is kind of cool. I like that bit.
That I will say is kind of cool. But
yeah, tier 5 basic 6,750. That's nothing.
Well, yeah, tier 5 basic. Not only that, but 2%.
Yeah, I know. That's again 4% instead of 10. And only 1 tier 2 alpha, 1 tier 4 class catalyst. It's hardly anything there, man. Like,
however,
it's so bad.
I think
like,
maybe the calendar will be really good and will make up for it, because they're going to have the holiday calendar, plus they're going to have the summoner appreciation or the anniversary calendar or whatever. Who knows? Maybe they'll be.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's going to be. No, okay, I'm no defender. There's going to be jam packed. We're going to get free gifts. We're going to get free calendars. But I just think it's an unnecessary reduction as a whole to take away 60% of tier 5 CC fragments and a lot of other stuff from monthly event quest, just because kind of like, oh, you're getting a lot anyways.
Well,
maybe I'm too picky.
Maybe it's real easy. Maybe it's going to be so easy, it's going to be like blink and you're done. And then if it's that much with very little effort, I'll be okay.
Yeah, okay, maybe then.
That's the only way I'll be okay with it. If the effort matches the reward.
Oh yeah,
now,
that's a good way to put it. I
it's
didn't
like
think
this
about
month,
it before.
Yeah, and maybe that's why, because with everything going on this month,
They wanted to make a mini version of side event. Yeah, I get that. I'd be
Right.
cool with that.
That's what I was thinking. I was playing devil's advocate there. You know, I got to think of a way.
No, it's good that you did, because it skipped my mind.
It's okay. Hey, that's what we're here for. We work with each other to think of what a different person would think.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyways, it's definitely going to be a very busy month. For better or for worse, I think the game's going to change quite drastically over the course of the next couple of months, because obviously new act is starting. We're going to have the free reward stuff, we're going to have gifting events, we're going to have greater gifting crystals, new variant. I think relatively, like, this is going to be one of the most significant months to date in MCOC, which is going to show where the game is heading.
I agree.
There's a lot to look out for. There's going to be a lot of videos coming. Hopefully they are all happy appreciation videos and me smiling saying that this is awesome instead of ranting for 15 minutes swearing at the bomb. Because that very well might happen.
Yeah. We never know, but I will say I'm optimistic. I'm hesitantly optimistic, very cautiously optimistic.
But yeah, I think we are good here, and
you're going to be busy in the next few weeks, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna catch. Well, I think we're pretty much done here for now.
Yeah,
my girlfriend is already giving me an angry eye. And yeah, so as always, been a pleasure. I hope you guys who are watching this live have enjoyed it as well. As I previously said, this is a members exclusive stream, so obviously there aren't many people in, but this will be available to every single one after 1 week. So it's just a small way to show some appreciation for my Patreons and for my YouTube members. And if you are catching this a week later, please check out the video description, and there are instructions how you can become member or a Patreon and catch these on time.
Yeah, and honest truth, we appreciate everyone equally. It's just we want to give, or KT specifically wants to give back to those that support him just by having a little something extra that they can see before everyone else. Make them have a little bit more to brag about. They know what KT's thinking a week ahead of time, basically.
But yeah, that will pretty much do, and hope you guys have enjoyed the podcast, and we're gonna catch you guys soon. See ya.
Bye, everyone.